Whitney Houston, the voice that echoed through pain. Welcome to the Whisper Report, where we explore untold, the misunderstood, and the silent voices of history and fame. This channel shares emotionally driven storytelling based on publicly available sources and documented history. While we aim to present facts with care, this content also reflects human complexity, interpretation, and the whisper between the headlines. Viewer discretion is advised. They called her the Voice, a once-in-a-generation talent whose sound could move mountains and silence rooms. But behind that powerful voice was a woman constantly silenced herself. Welcome to the Whisper Report, where we explore the beauty, the pain, and the truth behind the icons we thought we knew. And today, we begin with one of the brightest stars the world has ever seen, Whitney Houston. Before she was the Voice, she was simply Whitney Elizabeth Houston, born on August 9th, 1963 in Newark, New Jersey. Music wasn't just in her blood, it was her birthright. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was a successful gospel and soul singer. Her cousins, Dion and Dee Dee Warwick. Her godmother, the legendary Aretha Franklin. Whitney was destined to sing. From a young age, she was raised in the New Hope Baptist Church, where she began performing gospel solos by age 11. Her voice carried something divine, soft but strong, emotional yet effortless. A power that made people stop and listen. Outside of church, Whitney was exposed to the harsh realities of life in Newark, especially after the 1967 riots. Her family eventually relocated to East Orange, New Jersey, a move that gave Whitney more stability during her teenage years. She attended Mount St. Dominic Academy, a Catholic all-girls high school, while also modeling and singing backup for stars like Chaka Khan and Lou Rawls. Whitney was also one of the first Black women to appear on the cover of 17 magazine, a beauty with presence, talent, and poise. It was only a matter of time before the world took notice. The rise of the Voice. By the early 1980s, Whitney Houston was already a hidden gem, a stunning voice tucked behind backup vocals. But all that changed in 1983 when she was discovered by legendary music executive Clive Davis. He saw not just a singer, but a star, a once-in-a-generation voice, and he was right. In 1985, her self-titled debut album, Whitney Houston, was released. The impact? Instant and unstoppable. Hits like How Will I Know, You Give Good Love, and Saving All My Love for You topped the charts and showcased her vocal range, clarity, and raw emotional power. The album went on to sell over 25 million copies worldwide. But Whitney wasn't done. Her second album, Whitney 1987, made history. She became the first female artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 with anthems like I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me. She became a global icon, not just a singer, but a cultural force. Her success didn't stop with music. In 1992, Whitney starred in The Bodyguard alongside Kevin Costner. Critics were unsure at first, but the box office numbers and her haunting rendition of I Will Always Love You silenced everyone. The song became one of the best-selling singles of all time. Whitney once again redefined greatness. Her talent broke barriers. She was a Black woman dominating pop and adult contemporary charts, opening doors for generations to come. But behind the fame, whispers were growing about the pressure, the expectations, and the beginning of personal battles. The struggle behind the spotlight. As the world celebrated Whitney Houston's success, few truly saw what was happening behind the curtain. Fame came at a cost. Whitney, once America's sweetheart, became to face relentless scrutiny from the media. Rumors about her marriage, drug use, and erratic behavior became tabloid headlines, overshadowing her artistry. In 1992, she married R&B singer Bobby Brown. Their relationship was passionate but turbulent, filled with public arguments, allegations of abuse, and years of codependency. Many believe their marriage marked a turning point in Whitney's life, one that introduced more chaos than comfort. But one of the deepest wounds didn't come from the press or the stage. It came from her own family. Whitney's father, John Houston, who had been closely involved in managing her career, was later accused of stealing millions from her. After filing a $100 million lawsuit against her in 2002 while she was in the depths of her addiction, Whitney was devastated. The betrayal left emotional scars that ran deeper than the headlines could ever capture. Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Whitney's public image began to shift. Her voice, once described as the greatest of her generation, started to show strain. Interviews became erratic, performances unpredictable, yet even the darkest moments, glimpses of her talent still broke through. She spoke candidly about her struggles with addiction in a now infamous 2002 interview with Diane Sawyer. "Crack is whack," she declared, denying some rumors while confirming the pain many already suspected. Despite multiple attempts at a comeback, the industry Whitney helped build often turned its back on her when she needed compassion the most. The same media that once praised her tore her down, frame by frame, headline by headline. And still she tried. She fought to reclaim herself, her voice, her peace, her legacy. But the battle was long, and it was brutal. On February 11, 2012, the night before the Grammys, Whitney Houston was found dead in her hotel room. The world was stunned, and she was only 48. On February 11, 2012, just hours before the Grammy party hosted by Clive Davis, the very man who helped launch her career, Whitney Houston was found face down in a Beverly Hilton hotel bathtub, where her body submerged in water. She was just 48 years old. The official cause of death was ruled as an accidental drowning. The heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. At the time of her death, Whitney was romantically linked to Ray J, a young R&B singer and reality TV personality. Rumors swirled quickly. Some insiders alleged that Ray J wasn't just her boyfriend, but also her drug supplier, a claim that has been repeatedly denied, yet continues to haunt the public's perception of her final months. Those close to Whitney described her as paranoid, fragile, and often isolated in the days leading up to her passing. She was said to be hallucinating, sweating profusely, and behaving erratically, yet still preparing to perform at the party just hours before her death. Her loss left a void in the music world, but also sparked questions. How did a voice so powerful fade into such a tragic silence? And why was she surrounded by so many who seemed to benefit from her downfall? Whitney Houston's death sent shockwaves around the world. Her funeral, held in her hometown of Newark, New Jersey, was televised globally and attended by a who's who of music legends, family, and friends. But even in death, Whitney's story remained tangled in controversy. Her only daughter, Bobby Christina Brown, was inconsolable. The bond between them was deep, and many feared the trauma of losing her mother would break her. Tragically, just 3 years later in 2015, Bobby Christina was found unconscious in a bathtub, eerily mirroring her mother's final moments. She was only 22. After 6 months in a coma, she passed away, adding another layer of heartbreak to the Houston family legacy. Whitney's estate became the center of battles, from rights to her image to control of her unreleased music to managing her legacy. Despite the chaos, her influence never faded. Her voice remains one of the most technically perfect and emotionally stirring in history. From Beyoncé to Jennifer Hudson, artists across generations cite Whitney as the voice that made them believe in music's power. In 2020, she was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a long overdue honor. But perhaps Whitney's greatest legacy is the way her story forces us to reckon with fame, pressure, addiction, and exploitation. She was an icon, yes, but also a woman, a mother, a daughter, and a survivor until she couldn't be anymore. She was the voice. And though silenced far too soon, she still sings. Whitney Houston was more than the voice. She was a force. Her story is one of brilliance and heartbreak, of reaching unimaginable heights while carrying unbearable weight. She gave the world her gift even when it cost her everything. This has been another chapter of The Whisper Report, where we give voice to the ones silenced by fame, pain, by the stories they couldn't tell themselves. Like, comment, and subscribe to uncover the truth behind the spotlight. And remember, every whisper has a story if you're quiet enough to hear it.